Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. I'm Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us today. AFCON has officially kicked off in Ivory Coast, and over the coming weeks, we will bring you stories on Africa's biggest soccer tournament. And we go to Niger, where musicians are struggling to keep its traditional music alive. And Congolese artist Raphael Bandiwa is using his art to raise awareness about the issue of child labor in the DRC. Let's get on with the show. Nominated for a Golden Globe and Spain's entry for an Academy Award, the film Society of the Snow revives the story of the 1972 flight disaster in the Andes Mountains. Veronica Verafane spoke with its director, Juan Antonio Bayona, and one of the survivors of the fatal plane crash that captivated the world. Here's more.
A new film recounts the story of an Uruguayan rugby team whose plane crashed in the remote Andes Mountains in 1972, and the harrowing ordeal of those who survived. The Society of the Snow from the book of the same name is based on first-hand accounts of passengers who made it out alive. Director Juan Antonio Bayona recalls reading the book about the disaster.
And I was so impacted about the book that I really wanted to do it. I mean, it took me 10 years, but I had to shoot this scene because I couldn't take it out of my mind.
Bayona produced the film in Spanish and hired an Uruguayan and Argentinian cast. He says he obtained permission to make the film from all of the remaining survivors. Roberto Canessa is one of the survivors. At the time, he was a medical student and helped others mend and keep their spirits up, even when he felt despair over the sorrow his mother was feeling, thinking he was dead.
So I wanted desperately to tell my mommy, don't cry anymore, and I'm alive. And I used to tell them telepathy messages, look for me, I'm alive.
Canessa, along with rugby teammate Nando Parrado, undertook a grueling 10-day trek through the Andes Mountains in search of help. Their perseverance and heroic effort led to their rescue and those of their companions. Today, Canessa is philosophical about the lessons of their fight to live.
We were regular people faced with terrible circumstances, and with the help of God, we got incredible results.
29 people perished. As one of only 16 survivors, Canessa was able to rebuild his life. He became a pediatric cardiologist and had a family. For him and Bayona, the Society of the Snow is a tribute to those who never made it home.
I'm very proud of the film. I think that all the head of departments did an extraordinary job. They take you to the place, they take you into that plane and make you feel the same emotions they went through. And by doing so, you understand what they did. And it's a huge labor of love.
The film has been nominated for a Golden Globe and is Spain's international feature film entry for the Oscars. Veronica Villafane for VOA News, Los Angeles.
Football is a beloved sport and hobby for many people worldwide, especially in Africa. With the launch of AFCON in Ivory Coast, VOA met with the soccer fans whose love for football has become more than just a game. It's a passion and a source of inspiration for them and their families. Chumbe Shabani Maneno, a veteran footballer from the DRC, says that football has transformed his life. Here is more from our reporter, Chobe Malinga in Kinshasa.
My name is Bayob Malenga. I was born in Kalunga on September 3rd, 1968. I'm a professional footballer. At the age of 3, I really liked football. Today, I'm passionate about football. Football is my life. It's a drug for me. I cannot stay at home without following the soccer events on the field. At any time, I am on the field to follow the match. Football for me is family, health, life, knowledge, collaboration, cohabitation, pacification, respect, love. I have already traveled to more than 46 countries around the world through football. I played in 5 African countries, in the DRC, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and Kenya. I participated in many African Cups with different African teams. I like Cedric Bakambu because if he gets to the opponent's level, he will absolutely score.
Il marque sans doute. Alors, Manchester, j'aimais beaucoup
For Manchester, I really like Beckham.
J'ai suivi cette époque de Maradona.
I followed Maradona during the '89 World Cup, so I can't forget that.
Donc, je ne peux pas oublier ça, cet événement.
Congolese visual artist Raphael Bandiwa moved from Kinshasa to Atlanta to further his education in art at the world-famous Savannah College of Art and Design. A year later, Bandiwa's hard work has won him recognition as Atlanta's Artist of the Year. On our recent visit to Atlanta, Bandiwa showed us around his latest exhibit titled Little Kings. Bandiwa says that he wants to use his art to advocate and bring awareness to the issue of child labor and the plight of thousands of young Congolese children working in the DRC's informal and formal mining industry.
Little Kings is the series that I started in 2020 during the pandemic because I really wanted to talk about this. Because during the pandemic, I really had to sit down and search more about the coltan and all those minerals that we have back home. And during my research, I realized that the people who are doing all this child labor, it's just not, it wasn't really beautiful for me to actually experience as a Congolese, that I felt like I had to talk about that story. And that's literally the one that started the whole thing. And this painting is just, we were talking about earlier about suffering, them asking for help. This one, it was this little movement, this little action that just showing that we are going through it. You know, just him holding his head and his entire body being in a frame, it can definitely tell you a little bit of sadness, which is a big sadness actually that's going on right now.
I see the sadness in the face of this young man,
Oh, yeah.
but also see buildings.
Yeah.
Are these high rises?
They are high rises. Yeah,
What is
that's
the
good.
connection here?
The connection here is just those kids are the one building the cities that we see all over the world, because we have a very important mineral back home. If you guys know about it, the coltan is just something that's building city all over the places that I feel like I had to add it there, because you're seeing the sadness, but you're seeing buildings.
This one turned away his face
Exactly.
from the building. Is there a symbolism to that?
The symbolism is just they don't know what to do, honestly, because they need help from us.
Yeah.
And they kind of turn away from us. It's just another way to show sadness, right? It's I ask for help. You guys, I feel like you guys don't understand what's going on here. I turn my back. That's what I wanted to show, because right here you sing sadness. This whole series is about really sadness and how I can express it. Bazabana they are kids. So this series is just to let people know, hey, they are kids. They are the future of our country. Look at what's going on, and they are asking for help.
Yeah. Well, what are you trying to capture with this one?
I'm trying to express freedom. If I really gotta think about those kids having freedom, I see them fly around. This is the way I express freedom. It's flying around those cities that, in my opinion, they help build somehow, and they're flying over to just express the freedom that they are free. This is just a dreamy, it didn't happen yet, but if it happened, this is, I feel what those kids are dreaming about, that we can be so free that we can just fly. Yeah. And I wanted to kind of show it in this piece right here.
In a world increasingly dominated by rap and electronic music, the evocative rhythm of Niger's traditional drummers struggles to find an audience. The instruments and ancestral rhythms are in danger of disappearing with them. The preservation of these ancient traditions rests on the shoulders of musicians and society's recognition and importance of these ancestral values.
A succession of high and low sounds from the Nigerian musician's drum is a kind of telegram, but few today understand its message. Each beat is a syllable in the Hausa language. Umaru Adamu, or Maiduma, is one of Niger's most celebrated traditional musicians. He's a master of the duma, a typical percussion instrument which he plays with sticks and by rotating his bare foot on its goat skin membrane. He's also the guardian of a prized array of percussion, string, and wind instruments housed at the state-owned Central of Musical Training and Promotion in the capital, Niamey.
The instruments used to be stored here in very poor conditions until Spanish partners financed the construction of a new museum near here. And since then, I've inherited this old museum, where I make traditional musical instruments, recycle some of them, and teach young people to play them. The ultimate aim being to prevent this cultural heritage from disappearing altogether.
Unlike neighboring Mali or Nigeria, Niger's traditional music has not opened up to other music and modernized. Artist and teacher Mahaman Sani Mati said. Since 2018, he has organized workshops for underprivileged youngsters to learn to play and make traditional instruments. Aishata Adamu is among 10 students in a classroom at the CFPM.
This training course is a great opportunity for us. At the end of our apprenticeship, we can master how to make gourmet and even sell them on the market. You see, it's a win-win situation for us.
Rapper Umaru Abdurrahman, who is among the students, seemed won over.
We imitate people who are abroad or in Paris, for example, but we have our own instruments. Why can't we work with them? But now it's time. It's time to look, to see what we can do to advance our own culture.
An estimated 130,000 people descended on Las Vegas for CES 2024, the consumer technology show that attracts big and small companies alike. VOA's Tina Trin met with some of the more than 4,000 exhibitors for a look at emerging trends in artificial intelligence, digital health, and more.
At the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, tech companies are showing off new ways technology is becoming even more integrated into everyday life. And despite the many flashy displays, the more practical applications are less obtrusive, meant to blend into the background and be easier to integrate into daily routines. Over at EssilorLuxottica, the eyewear company has introduced a new pair of frames called Nuance Audio that have built-in hearing aids. But you wouldn't know it from looking at them, and that's the point, say company executives.
The majority of the people with mild to moderate hearing loss today, either they don't acknowledge, they have the typical people that when you speak, they're gonna ask, what did you say? And they're turning the head with the ear towards you. And that is exactly the population we're addressing.
The frames amplify the voice of whomever the wearer looks at, helping in crowded, noisy situations.
Where you struggle to understand your counterpart 1 meter, 2 meters far away. This is going to help you to focus and to reduce your listening effort, your listening fatigue.
And in categories where discretion is a given, devices like the O vibrator by Odoki are getting smarter too.
So rather than having the standard vibrating motor, it brings a sonic technology to the table. This enables you to then control both the frequency and the amplitude.
The vibrator can be synchronized with music, VR content, and games, proving that even as our devices are becoming more inconspicuous and discreet, they're also staying connected. Tina Trin, VOA News, Las Vegas.
Thanks for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I'm Jackson Vunganyi. For more entertainment news, check us out at voaafrica.com. We're also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.